with Jonathan. Understands what iTunes requires for podcasts, for doing it right. Within days of launching our podcast, we were in iTunes' new and noteworthy section.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
What was the obstacle that would have kept you from starting your podcast show?
I think most people don't understand the amount of production that goes into it. It seems like, okay, you either just schedule a guest or you turn on GarageBand and start recording and you click the stop button when you're done. Maybe that's 10 or 20% of it. There's a whole lot of stuff that people don't know about. All the post-production stuff, there's editing, dealing with that, syncing audio files. There's all the behind-the-scenes stuff, having the correct file formats, working with iTunes, Libsyn or syndication of the audio files. Is actually a lot of technical stuff. The recording of the podcast is a very small part. So all the post-production and all the technical stuff was just something that I don't know how to do. I don't have time to go through the learning curve of learning how to do it, and I don't have time to do it.
Dan, what did you find as a result of working with Jonathan?
It's about as hassle-free as it can be. It's simply planning the topics and then showing up at the times that we agree to do the podcast recording. And that's about it. And he and his team take it from there. They handle all those details. And he knows, of course, all the technical stuff that you need to know to do things right for iTunes. And so it was basically as easy and hassle-free as possible for me.
Is there a specific feature that you like most about working with Jonathan?
Yeah, the thing that I like is that what I'm responsible for is, like I said, planning the topics, showing up when I'm supposed to record, and he takes care of all the behind-the-scenes stuff and has the team in place to do it. I don't have to manage any of that.
What would be 3 other benefits about working with Jonathan?
Well, one of the biggies is he understands what iTunes requires for podcasts, for doing it right. So I think within days of launching our podcast, we were in iTunes' new and noteworthy section. And just the fact that I don't have to worry about anything. The only thing I have to worry about is I look at my schedule each month and see what times I have booked to do the podcast recordings. I make sure that I've got the topics lined up for each recording. And that's it. It's about as done for you of a solution as it can possibly be.
2-part question, Dan. Would you recommend Jonathan, and if so, why?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Jonathan, because to try to figure all this out on your own and then having to go through the learning curve of learning it the hard way and then having to go find the people to do the technical aspect of all this stuff would take, I have no idea how much time. And he already has the system down, so it just makes sense to work with Jonathan.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
He's very professional. He's a great producer. He's also a great host and makes it fun, too. It's fun recording our podcast episodes. So, I don't think you could ask for a better producer. A guy who takes care of all the details, makes sure everything is done when it's supposed to be done, make sure everything is running efficiently, and he makes the entire process fun, too.
Thanks so much, Dan. It was nice talking with you.
My pleasure. I appreciate it, Becky.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.